good morning, YouTube viewers. Good morning, Facebook Nation. Good morning to everyone that's out there. Rainy day, but a beautiful day. And usually with rain, you go through some things. So today's topic is how to find yourself. And this is part two of a two-part series. So this is part two of two, how to find yourself. Before we start, click like, subscribe, and share it. Also go through the playlist because all of the videos are connected. So it's just like buying a book, and you go to a certain chapter, and certain chapters explain things. Well, this is what these videos are. They're a compilation to help us to find our best self, so that we can continue to be our best self and want nothing from it. So it's not about money or anything else like that. It's about making the world a better place. And I think that greed is one of the things that causes a lot of the issues that we go through. So today's topic is fitting. In part one, we discussed how to take back your life by waking up to the manipulation and brainwashing that you were aware that was going on around you, whether it was in your relationship, whether it was in your family, whether it was in your job. Something took place and we woke up, and then we saw it on a grand scale, where we saw how there was this application applied to not only what we were going through, but how other people are being manipulated also. At the end of this video, I'm going to post a chart. In this chart, I'll explain as we go along, but in short, this chart is what a system that is used for brainwashing someone who's been part of a cult. But when you read what it is, it has nothing to do with cults. It has everything to do with us as individuals. And that's something that you want to look at that chart. Or there's two charts. Tell us how one chart is what is healthy and what is unhealthy, what you're open to brainwashing or manipulation, or whether you're not. And then the second chart explains how they do it on a massive scale, where they'll pit black against white, the good against the bad, and us against them. It just goes crazy. So when we sit back, you want to come up with these ideas that things are just the way they are. Then why do they spend so much money on this research? Because these things exist and they have acknowledged it. Now it's time for us to acknowledge it. But this is a very important side of this topic of how to find yourself, because sometimes you have to walk away. So the reason for this very important topic of how to walk away from what holds us back is because we have now become awake. However, loved ones may not want to not only wake up with you, but will attempt to bring you back and keep you asleep. They'll say, oh, you're just going through something, you'll be okay, you'll get back to your old self. But you know that you're not, and that there is nothing wrong with you. And in fact, you see things clearer than you ever have. But in their eyes, they want to bring you back. They want you to be asleep. And we'll discuss that also. So today we find ourselves in a toxic world, and we all agree it's toxic. Toxic so much that we're all in our own individual bubbles. People, families are not group families anymore. It's like my family is here, your family is there, your family is there, and a lot of families aren't even getting together anymore. They're staying within their own bubble. Again, that's division. So when you're divided, that's how manipulation and brainwashing works. I have to seclude you in order to manipulate you. So over time, we have come to realize that something is not right in our lives, but not only in our lives, but in the world around us. We're realizing that something is really, really wrong. So things that make no sense, and also things that make sense, yet we are being manipulated into understanding that what makes sense no longer makes sense, which is kind of crazy. But again, we're living in a toxic world. Now, here we stand, living within our own bubble. Sound familiar? However, we're caring individuals, and being such, we want to tell the world, we want to save those around us who we care for the most. You know, what is going on, and you know, we want to scream it out to the top of our lungs to say, hey, you know, this is going on and this is how it works. But not only to us is, you know, are these things happening, but the effects on how it affected the family, or it might have affected friends, and or just the community as a whole. I have to say, this is impossible. And I want to present a quote that explains why this is impossible. That some of your loved ones may not follow you, you know, some of your closest friends, they may not follow you, and you may have to walk the road alone, even though you're still surrounded by those individuals. You walking the road alone, but as you walk that road alone, you're gonna, people are gonna start to latch on. You know, things are gonna be replaced. But turning back is what this video is about. You know, that we can't turn back. It's hard. Most people do. I did it. I've done it myself. I do it myself. But I'm going to explain that also. So, the quote explains, and I'm going to quote it in this way. And I quote, "You have to understand, most people are not ready to be unplugged." And that quote came out of the movie The Matrix. And we're going to find out just how much these quotes have to do with real life, because they do have, they're hand in hand with real life. So, what this means is, that quote, what this quote means is, what we as humans, we're born with a compunction for servitude and submission, provided the conditions are comfortable and fit with one's perceived needs. Meaning that, you know, anyone can be brainwashed. All I have to do is figure out what it is your likes and your dislikes. And then from there, I can focus on your likes. Now I can present a dislike that is so serious that you feel some kind of way. Now when I come back to you with my likes, I can suggest. And we're finding that this game is played all over, and you know, we're actually playing that same game on one another. So it's, again, it goes back to an algorithm, and it goes into a script, and that's the reality that creates a toxic environment for everyone. So compunction, because I know people are like, what are you talking about? What do you mean compunction? To explain that. Compunction is a very important word, because what compunction means is, it means that we're born with a feeling or guilt or morals that prevents or follows the doing of something that is bad. Okay, now the reason why this is important is because, you know, it says that, you know, say I want to spread peace around the world, and, you know, millions of people are following me, but then I say, hey, well, I received a message from you know, the Most High, and he said that we have to carry out a war against these people. These people are going to follow. And what I'm telling these people is very, very much untrue. So I've manipulated these people, and they were willing to do something evilly bad and horrific to another human being for no reason, believing that they were doing the right thing. So now you understand what that word compunction means. So, individuals will not only see what a person sees nothing wrong in. So, again, it goes back to the explanation. If you sit down and you talk to those people, say the war takes place, and you're talking to these individuals, you know, they feel that they've done nothing wrong. There's no indifference, because they received a message from whoever, and they believe in that message. So if you put that same person on a lie detector test to say, you know, what you're saying, is your statement true, those people will pass lie detector tests. So that tells you how strong the mind is, you know, and this is what we have to protect, but it's also the most fragile thing that there is. So at the end of the video, I have posted a chart which I had spoke about before. It's by the Influence Continuum, and it speaks facts. So it's not just my words that's giving this to you. You know, whenever I say something, you can look it up for yourself. I do my research, because, like I said, I've seen this throughout my life and throughout experience, where I try to continuously go back into the world and literally dumb myself down. And this is what a lot of the, the good viewers that watch this is what you're doing. We keep falling back because we want to dummy ourselves down to fit back into a narrative that makes no sense. So now we have to we're living in a time we have to come out of it. For our own safety as well as the people that we love, we have to come out of it. Okay? So, and we have to come out of it. The more need is to come out of it is that not everyone is going to come out of it with you. But for those that do, come out of it with you, and for those that are still around you, they know that they have to deal with you in a certain way that you'll expect, or you'll expect nothing less. So a lot of those people won't come around you, and I'll explain that one too. So they're not going to be accepting of you as a person, because again, when we go back to the definition, where you're not fitting their narrative anymore. You're awake now, so you don't fit their narrative anymore. So let's keep going. All right. So because you no longer fit their narrative in which they see you. Not only does this apply to one that may be close to you, because the whole world is under false narratives and scripts. So it's happening all over the world. It's all over. There is nobody that is immune from it, and there's nobody on the face of this earth that cannot be brainwashed. Not one. Look it up and my comments, they have been shut off. Going away from topic for a second. My comments have been turned off because people were coming on and they were advertising for like porn sites and stuff like that, and I don't play that stuff. And also, political stuff. People that were close to me were posting political stuff. I don't play that stuff either. What's not good for you, if it's almost like it's different topic. Comments were turned off. They'll be turned back on. So maybe not on this video, but I'll work on it over the weekend. All right. But these scripts, they're being played out all over the world. They're all over, especially through the internet, especially through TV, also through the education system. And we think that all these systems are there to help us. And look up some of the things that go on within the education system of how they're teaching. We here in our country teach things that are non-applicable to the children. That's why we used to be #1 in math and in science and everything else. Go back and look up those statistics today and see where we are, because it's more focused towards brainwashing the children than it is to teaching them a skill. Because if I enslave the mind, then I enslave you throughout your whole life. And where do I start? The first 7 years of a child's life. So let's get back on topic, even though that is on topic. So let me explain my experience. I have found that not only I receive more stress, confusion, depression, and anger associated with attempts to speak to loved ones, by presenting facts and not my words, but the facts to say that we can make life better. Because now once you realize the brainwashing and the manipulation, you're free. Now you're free to create a better world for not just yourself, but for the people that you love and everything else, because now you understand how this works, and now you're teaching others that you care about how these things work. But however, now that we know that we can work together, because it's now out of our control, our future, we take control of our future. But the fact is always going to remain, loved ones may push you away because you become awake, because now you become a threat to them. Because now, each person that may have been around you, a loved one, that, now you can see the manipulation and the types of brainwashing that they're doing. So, these people are still in that system. And now when you're able to call them out, it makes them feel uncomfortable. And now that they understand, I'm not talking about family, I'm talking about friends, I'm talking about co-workers, I'm talking about, just people, everyday people that you interact with. Once they know that you become awake, they know that you know what's going on. So they know when they use words around you, they also understand that, you understand what those words actually mean. So you become a threat. So, we have to say to ourselves, one thing that we can be thankful for, the internet, and for, different venues where now we can go and live the life that we want. So now it's like we do the things that we like doing. Whereas before we did other things just to please other people. We always were quick to jump to, invitations to go places. But now we do the things we want. And by doing the things that we want to do that's inside of us, those people that we run into, they do the same thing. So it's not to say that everything happens in 2.2 seconds. That's not what this is. This is no miraculous cure to this. It's just the fact that you're free, and that's what you have to say to yourself. You're finally free. So, and you're finally free to live the life that you want to live. So when it comes to finding yourself, and this is the last of this, when it comes to finding yourself, now that you've found yourself, you also have to be aware of, the fact that everything starts over. And for me, my age, I'm 56. I don't even count all that stuff. But I know I'm up there in age. And, to start over, it's not really a hard thing to do, but it's a thing that where you question yourself whether you should, again, go back to dummy yourself down to go through the same things. But it's like I say, when I sleep at night, I sleep like a baby. I've never gotten good sleep like I've gotten now. So, there are benefits from it. My stress levels far from, gone. So, the only time I go through things is when I try to go back. So what I'm saying to all of us here, that, now that we found ourselves, we have to keep going forward, because now we have one another. And that's, again, that I'm going to open up the comments. So now we can start to build a community where we can, throw ideas back and forth, because I don't have all the answers. You have answers. You go through things, I go through things. But at least you know that on this ain't about a money channel. This ain't about, being in the spotlight. This is about, bringing the world and making the world a better place. Because, again, the world is toxic right now. It's never been more toxic than it has ever been. But, we need each other too. We can't just walk this road alone. We need that support from one another. So make sure you stick around, because the two charts are going to be posted right after I leave from here. And it's a rainy day, so this video might be a little bit longer, but hey, where are we going today in the rain? So everyone have an awesome day, have a beautiful day, and with that, everyone, peace and